Waylun, woe, likulli, for every, affakin, extreme liar, athimin, extreme sinner. Woe, meaning a great punishment, is for every person who is affak and athim. Who is affak? Affak is from ifk, and ifk, lie. And affak, on the structure of fa'al, one who lies a lot. One who believes in lies. One who lives according to lies. Meaning his whole life is based upon what? Falsehood. And athim, extremely sinful. Who is he? Yasma'u, he hears. Ayatillahi, the verses of Allah. Meaning he hears the Qur'an containing proofs that are undeniable. Tutla alayhi, it is recited on him. But then what happens? ثُمَّ يُصِرُّ, then he persists. Mustakbiran, as arrogant. He persists arrogantly. Meaning he does not believe, he's not affected by the verses. يُصِرُّ, from the root letters, صاد, را, را, إصرار, which means to persist. The word is from the word sir, and sir is used for intense cold. Right? Sar. Remember sar? Fast, cold, violent wind. Right? From the same root is the word sar. Sar is actually used for a leather bucket, you could say a water skin, that is used for drawing water out of a well. But because it has become so weak and feeble over time, because of being used so much, it is tied. It is tied up. There are knots and there are handles, and because it's falling apart. So it's been put together. It's been stitched together. It's been tied from different places. Alright? This is what sar is. And from this is the word israr, to persist, to persevere on one's act, to not give up, to continue. Alright? Just like that water bucket, that leather skin, it should be discarded, but a person is making way to make sure that it's continuously used. For example, you have this old bag, but you're just emotionally attached to it, right? And you've used it for years and years, but you just won't get rid of it. And you'll make sure that, if it's falling apart from somewhere, getting torn up from somewhere, you ask your grandma to stitch it for you, right? The zip breaks and you do something to fix it. Why are you coming up with all of these ways? Because you don't want to leave it. You're persisting, right, on using it. This is what israr is. When a person doesn't give up on doing something. So, ثُمَّ يُصِرُّ, he persists as mustakbiran, as arrogant. Meaning he persists on his denial, on his wrong ways, on his ithm, on his ifk, arrogantly. What is istikbar? Istikbar is to be disdainful of, to look down on what is right. When a person doesn't agree with something, he just looks down on it, belittles it. بَطَرُ الْحَقِّ وَغَمْطُ النَّاسِ. This is istikbar. So, ثُمَّ يُصِرُّ مُسْتَكْبِرًا, he persists on his ithm, on his sin, on his wrongdoing, and also on his ifk, the lies that he's been living. Even though the Qur'an tells him otherwise. The Qur'an says this is ithm, don't do it. The Qur'an says this is ifk, leave it. But he persists. Why? Out of arrogance. كَأَن لَّمْ يَسْمَعْهَا, as if he never heard it. Meaning, he carries on as if he never heard the Qur'an. Allah says, فَبَشِّرْهُ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ, so give him glad tidings, and this is sarcasm, فَبَشِّرْهُ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ, of a painful punishment. This is mentioned in Surah Luqman, Ayat 7 also, where Allah says, وَإِذَا تُتْلَى عَلَيْهِ آيَاتُنَا وَلَّى مُسْتَكْبِرًا كَأَن لَّمْ يَسْمَعْهَا. When our verses are recited upon him, he turns away arrogantly as if he never heard them. So, what do we learn from this ayah? What is pride? What is arrogance? Not paying attention to the words of Allah. To carry on unchanged. To continue unaffected. Because, you see, all of us, we make mistakes, don't we? Right? We commit ithm. We do make mistakes. When we listen to the Qur'an, when we read the Qur'an is like a mirror. It tells us what our mistakes are, what our faults are, what our errors are. Sometimes those faults are in our thinking, and sometimes they are in our actions. Maybe those faults are lies that we're holding on to, lies that we believe in, or there are lies concerning other people, or lies that we've been saying, or there are wrong actions that we've been doing. Whatever it may be, the Qur'an tells us, this is not appropriate. You have to fix this in yourself. What is pride? That a person carries on as he was, unchanged, even after learning what the Qur'an says. Allah says, فَبَشِّرْهُ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. And this is something that should really frighten us and make us worry. Because Allah has given us the opportunity to listen to Qur'an, to learn Qur'an, to reflect on the Qur'an. So we really need to check ourselves. That when I listen to the Qur'an, what changes within me? Do my thoughts change? Do they improve? My feelings towards other people? My actions? My speech? How are my words? How are my habits? What about my dealings with other people? Are they changing? Or am I persisting on my old ways? Because this is something very scary over here. فَبَشِّرْهُ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. وَإِذَا, and when عَلِمَ, he learns مِنْ آيَاتِنَا, of our verses, شَيْئًا, anything, meaning something, even if it's very small, something that he learns about our ayat, اتَّخَذَهَا, he takes it as huzwa, as ridicule. Meaning if he got anything from the Qur'an, he uses it to attack the Qur'an. And this is how many people will approach the Qur'an. They will approach it not to find guidance, not for the purpose of self-improvement, but for the purpose of finding fault. اتَّخَذَهَا هُزُوًا. أُولَئِكَ, those, lahum, for them, عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ, a humiliating punishment. Why a humiliating punishment? Because he's trying to humiliate the Qur'an. So Allah will humiliate him. What do we see over here? That firstly, when he hears the Qur'an, it's as if he never heard it. Because nothing changes, nothing improves. And secondly, if he did learn a thing or two, then he uses that to attack the Qur'an. But how? Through humor. Huzuwan. Laughing at the Qur'an. So he takes humor as a shield, like many people do. Humor as a shield to poke fun at others, to say racist things, to attack someone's honor, to attack someone's dignity, their work, their life's effort. Behind the shield of humor, people will say the worst of things. Not all humor is bad, but we really need to think about this. In Surah Al-Kahf, Ayah 56, we learn, وَيُجَادِلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِالْبَاطِلِ لِيُدْحِضُوا بِهِ الْحَقَّ وَاتَّخَذُوا آيَاتِ وَمَا أُنذِرُوا هُزُوًا. They argue why? In order to refute the truth. So here also, he's attacking the Qur'an through humor. اتَّخَذَهَا هُزُوًا. Why? To refute the truth. Allah says, مِنْ وَرَائِهِمْ. Before them is Jahannamu, is hell. وَرَائِهِمْ. We translate this as before over here and not behind. Because the word wara is used for before, for behind, for beyond. Alright? It's used in different ways. The context determines the meaning. So, مِنْ وَرَائِهِمْ جَهَنَّمْ. Ahead of them is hell. Meaning right now, they can continue arrogantly, and they can continue to poke fun at the Qur'an, but before them, ahead of them, is hell. وَلَا يُغْنِي عَنْهُمْ. And it will not avail them. What will not avail them? مَا كَسَبُوا. Whatever they have earned. شَيْئًا. Anything. Whatever they have acquired in the world, of wealth, of fame, of any work, whatever it is that they've done in this world is not going to help them on the Day of Judgment. It's not going to help them in hell. Why? Because all of their life's accomplishments will come to nothing. Their work will come to nothing. It will neither save them, nor will it be relevant anymore. Because in hell, a person can say, I wrote a thesis, and I gave lectures, and I did this, and it's useless, it's irrelevant. وَلَا يُغْنِي عَنْهُمْ مَا كَسَبُوا شَيْئًا. وَلَا, and nor. Ma, that which اتخذوا, they took, min dunillahi, besides Allah, awliya, close friends, protectors, as in false gods. Meaning those whom they worship besides Allah will also not come to their aid in the hereafter. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ, and for them is a great punishment. What do we learn in these verses? Punishment of hell is being mentioned for who? For those who mock. At what? At what? At what? The Qur'an, the verses of Allah. So don't even do it by mistake, in fun. Mocking at the Qur'an, at the words of Allah, it is something that doesn't befit a believer. In Surah Kahf, ayah 106, Allah says, ذَلِكَ جَزَاؤُهُمْ جَهَنَّمُ بِمَا كَفَرُوا وَاتَّخَذُوا آيَاتِي وَرُسُلِي هُزُوًا. Their punishment is hell. Why? Because they made fun of my prophets and my verses. Sometimes we'll make fun of the way a person is reciting the Qur'an. Be cautious of that also. In Surah Al-A'raf, ayah 48, we learn, وَنَادَى أَصْحَابُ الْأَعْرَافِ رِجَالًا يَعْرِفُونَهُمْ بِسِيمَاهُمْ قَالُوا مَا أَغْنَى عَنْكُمْ جَمْعُكُمْ وَمَا كُنْتُمْ تَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. People in hell will be told that all that you gathered up in the worldly life and all that you were so proud of is of no avail to you. It's not rescuing you today. In Surah Maryam, ayah 82, we learn about the false gods that كَلَّا سَيَكْفُرُونَ بِعِبَادَتِهِمْ وَيَكُونُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ ضِدًّا. They're not going to help them at all. And this is exactly what's mentioned in the verse, that their life's work is not going to help them, nor will their false gods help them. And for them is a great punishment. And if you think about it, mocking at something that's very serious and something that deserves respect and honor, making fun of someone, of something that deserves respect, this is out of what? Out of pride again. Isn't it? It's out of pride. That when a person is not accepting someone's status, then what does he do? He doesn't want to accept it, and he doesn't want to look bad either. So he'll make fun, he'll mock. So this is also pride. Refusing to bend before Allah's ayat, mocking at them. And Allah hates pride. He hates arrogance. هَذَا هُدَى. This is guidance, meaning this Qur'an that people are mocking at, in reality, what is it? It is guidance. As Allah says, قُلْ هُوَ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا هُدًى وَشِفَاء. For those who believe, the Qur'an is guidance and a cure, a healing. وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ. And those people who deny the verses of their Lord, لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ. For them is punishment, مِنْ رِجْزٍ أَلِيمٌ. Notice over here, عَذَابٌ مِنْ رِجْزٍ أَلِيمٌ. Right? Remember that when nouns, they end with the same sign. Alright, that means that there is a relationship between them. So, عَذَابٌ and أَلِيمٌ. Do they end with the same sign? What is it? Tanween. Right? So, عَذَابٌ أَلِيم. Alim is describing adhab. Painful punishment. But what kind of painful punishment? مِنْ رِجْزٍ. Of rijz. Meaning of foul nature. Rijz from rajaza. Rajaza is to quiver, to shake. Rajaz al-ba'ir, a camel, is when a camel is shaking as it's walking. Why? Because it's overloaded, or it's too weak. It's old. It's sick. It's tired. This is rajaz al-ba'ir. And from this, rijz is used for something that is so foul, that is so vile, it's so ugly, it's horrible, that just the sight of it, the sound of it, it disgusts a person. So mirrijzin, meaning of foul nature. It will be severe punishment that causes people to shudder. Meaning just thinking about it, hearing about it, causes them to shudder. In ayah number 7, waylun. Then in ayah number 8, adhabin alim. Ayah number 9, adhabun muhin. Ayah number 10, adhabun azim. Ayah number 11, adhabun min rijzin alim. Have no doubt. It's emphasized over and over again. Pride, arrogance, rejecting Allah's ayat, mocking at Allah's ayat, at Allah's deen. This is something that's not acceptable.